Oh shit. Here we go again.
Another episode, fine and dandy. We're here today.
Welcome
Glad
back,
to be
my
back.
shallots. Did we introduce that? Did we
I
drop
feel
that
like-
episode?
I feel like we thought about it and then we did, and then we didn't release that one.
Who knows? Onionettes.
Salads, onion fam, onions. You'll find out more about that as time goes.
The lore.
The lore as it unpeels or peels.
Is it unpeeled?
You had it.
That was
As it
close.
unpeels.
You were onto something there.
Yeah, there we go.
As it reveals, as it unpeels and reveals.
Damn. Oh, it didn't even know it. He said that's rough.
All right.
All right.
Restart.
So-
No, I'm kidding.
That's enough of that. We're coming off a pretty sick weekend. Me and Evan were out in Austin for the event we just threw at Eden. Shout out Eden, sick ass place on. Wait, did I say Austin? San Marcos.
Yeah.
You're doing good.
Same
It's
area.
close enough.
Close enough, yeah.
Texas.
Kind of. It's like outside of the square. So if you're familiar with San Marcos, it's like where the square is at, just kind of like away from all the
Mayhem.
main parts of this. I was like, damn, there's not really anyone walking by. And then we like drove like a minute down. I was like, holy shit, there's a ton of people out here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of.
So it's kind of
people
like
on
out of
street.
the way, like from the main scene.
It's not.
It's where people park to go to the square.
Got you.
It is.
Yeah.
It is out of the way from the main scene, but it is also quite literally like a minute walk. Like
Right.
30, and it's not like you have to. It's like a definitely walking. It's super walking distance. It's just like the square is literally a square.
Dude, it's crazy
So
thinking
it's
about
like-
how long it's been since I've been in San Marcos. I think it's been like over 4 years. And like, I think the last time we went, I'm trying to even remember why we were out there.
The
It
river?
might have been a river trip.
Yeah.
maybe.
Probably the river.
They'll never floated the river, and
What?
I'm so upset.
We should
about
do
it.
a river trip.
I
We
thought
should.
were going to float the river.
We wanted to. Yeah. No, we should.
We should
Honestly,
do a river
San
trip, like a
Marcos
river
is
camping
lit.
trip. We should do that.
I'd be
Yeah.
so down.
Um,
Oh.
I
but
float the- yeah, I don't know. As much as I love water and being floating on water, the fact that I haven't. Kind of insane.
that yes, dude. Well, also it's just like the last time I went out for a camping river trip was in right either in high school or like the year after high school. I went with Kenny G and Brandon Pollard
Check
to
out. remember.
the San Marcos River, and we fucking camped, fucking got stupid high, got stupid drunk, just fucking had a great weekend. Fucking that was like one of my first times out in San Marcos for like the river specifically, because we had been going out there for like college parties and shit like that, and just fun and shit. But like that was the first time I had done anything like that. That shit was fun as fuck. And then I went back a couple years later with my girlfriend at the time, and it was actually the year after that. And we broke up because of that river trip.
Like, broke up.
Well, yes and no. It was like a multifaceted situation,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
for sure at the time, like that day, the plan was it was her birthday weekend.
Oh my god.
I'm not proud of this. We went to the river with her friends. It was either her birthday weekend or actually no, it was her birthday weekend. Went to the river with her friends and shit. The whole plan was that like I was gonna drive there and drive back so that she could have fun. I drove there. I did not drive back. I got hammered on the river, and she got pissed off at me, and we argued for like
Rightly
an
so.
hour drive home. It was
my
like
God.
horrible. But that, I mean, they're very much all my fault. Very much like literally, legitimately all my fault. I'm not blaming her at all. But that being said, those are two. It was very polarizing because those are my two river trips where
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah,
one I
yeah.
had such a great time with the boys, and the other time I was like, well, this was fun until we got in the car.
Well, I mean, you could argue that. You could argue that it was such a vibe. That you had to drink. It was like it was.
Babe,
and
come on.
So really, the problem wasn't that the second time wasn't good. It was that it was too good.
That's what it is. Too good, and
The river itself.
no regrets or
Like the
whatever.
second that you get off of the river, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the actual river experience itself.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Don't recommend.
I thought I was
But
gonna float the river for Flow Fest when that shit was happening, but
y'all didn't.
they like false. So like
False advertisement.
Well, yeah, false marketing. Yeah. I mean,
First.
the river's there, but this is what it was. You think, oh, I'm gonna float the river, that I'm gonna be able to catch sets, right? And you know me, I want to catch the sets. So I'm going to the festival to catch the music.
But it was like an oar situation.
Well, you can float the river, and when you're done floating the river, they have shuttles that take you straight to the festival.
Oh,
That's not bad though.
It's
It's
not
not
bad,
bad, but the whole time, whenever I'm imagining, I didn't go. I've actually never even seen videos of like a float fest. So whenever I'm imagining it, I'm like, you're in the river. Like I'm thinking you're in the river, and there's like a set going on like above the fucking like water.
I mean, that would be crazy. But if you know the San Marcos River, I couldn't see how that could possibly.
There's a couple spots where it's
It's
just
right
like,
a whole festival.
It's near
no,
the-
fair. I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
But
Maybe
that-
like a stage, like one stage.
That being said, though, I can see the vibe though. Like I see the vision because like if you go early enough, like if you go to the river at like 11, 12, like you could
That's
float the
a
river
good time to
and,
get there.
and
Still,
still
no,
make it to the festival.
It was
plenty
a
of
good.
time.
You are right, because like the thing was too, it was hot as shit, dude. Like I remember the temps reaching like 104.
Ooh.
It was like it was brutal out there, dude. So I mean, it definitely, regardless, that having just the river as an option and getting shuttled, not bad.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
But still.
because I'm thinking about like if you actually did do the river, it would have been fucking lit.
Yeah.
It would have been lit.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
would
yeah.
have been a bunch of people fucking raving on the river
I will say
all
the
the way there.
Soul Fest was the only like fest I could say that has successfully kind of accomplished that ideal.
Well, that's amazing. I couldn't even imagine
In
it
two
being
different,
possible.
I mean, they succeeded in that, but then they failed with later other shit. But the first year I went, which
Hell
was the
yeah.
second year of the fest, completely awesome. It was like a watering hole, so it was like a big pond type of thing with natural spring water, so that shit was cold as fuck.
Did you drink it?
The water- yeah, dude, I was like, gotta get my nutrients.
It's from
I'll
a
just try it
natural
out.
spring, bro.
They probably had sea moss at the bottom of it. I
Yeah,
think I
bro,
got all
you-
my vitamins.
You gotta
and
get all
minerals.
your vitamin E's and D's and
Yeah, that sea moss has all
73s.
essential 92 or
I
yeah,
don't fucking know.
like almost
Don't
all
look
the-
over here.
all the essential vitamins and minerals that you need in your body.
Sea moss, like
Sea moss.
that you drink it.
No, I think you.
Like
And
chewable?
they make smoothies.
Really?
They make some sea moss smoothies. They have sea moss gel, which we did have.
By they, he's talking about our friend.
No, there's a couple of different.
Well, I know there's like major companies, but I thought you
No,
wanted
there's
to.
some smaller ones at the. If you ever go to the farmers market, that are not.
Yeah, you.
Darby.
I was gonna, shout out our friend Darby though,
No,
but
no,
we
no.
should just like say fuck that guy's business and Farmer
no.
Don
Check out
that
Farmer Don.
hasn't been on our pod a couple times or anything. It's not like a collaborator of ours or
He
anything. It's
actually was a part of one of the first episodes we ever recorded, even thow he wasn't really on it. But
he was
a part of it.
He was a part of the inception of
yeah,
our
he was-
podcast.
he was kind of there for it,
Farmer
but
Don.
yeah, he's a real. But so like sea moss, you can do gels, smoothies. I have like fresh sea moss. Well,
You
it's,
still
like,
have some?
dried out. It's in a package in the pantry. You can you can use it pretty much in anything. But it has like
Interesting.
all the vitamins and minerals, like almost all of them that you. So it's like really good for you. Really good for your hair, for your skin, all that. Like it has biotin and collagen. Like it legitimately insane. how that works.
Plains farmers don't want you to know about this one trick to get all your vitamins.
Bro, for real, it is kind of a crazy thing to think about. But fuck, what were we talking about before that? That was going.
You were talking about spring water in a
Oh, yeah,
watering
we were
hole.
at Soulfest, yeah.
And I asked you if
Could
you drank
drink
it.
and I was like, I could get all mine. Yeah, there we go. Coming back to me. But
Just
they
drink
did
it.
have a stage. It was like in a ship too. Like it was like a little makeshift, like little toy ship looking type of thing. But they had the DJ booth there. So they were spinning there, and everyone was
Oh,
just
that's cool.
partying in the fucking water. And they
That's
had like,
fire.
they had
That's
a
dope.
they had a slide, and then they had the rope swing, and then they had like one of those like obstacle things you can run on on the water. That was a great time.
Oh, those are fun.
And then they
Those are
switched-
fun.
Dude, it was a blast. That's just fun. Everyone's turning up in the fucking water. But then and the thing was, it was all one stage the whole day. So they did pool party sets during the day, and then they would start the later sets later, and you can go back to camp and then come back and go to the other stage. Well, actually, they did a couple hours inside of this like garage looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
So and then as the sun went down, then the main stage was
Mm.
clutch, perfect. So like you have shade still. For like
Mhm.
a couple hours as the sun's going down once you're done with the pool. And you can still stay in the pool during that if you want to. In the sets later at the main stage. And then the next year they went to Florida and they actually had like a lazy river.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. But the thing was like if you wanted to go to the stage you had to walk far as fuck down, but like they had speakers still like further down the river so you could still hear the music while you're floating the river and you kind of doing all that
I
other
mean,
shit.
that's like, I mean, that's still dope though. That's
But
dope.
then so the cops were arresting people and shit there, so that was the
Ooh.
bad
And then a
part.
car blew up.
Yeah, a car did blow up and caught on
What?
fire. Dude, that was dude. So, you didn't hear
What?
about any of this?
Nah.
So yeah, so it's crazy because I remember me and the homie Ali were walking back to camp. We saw the fire was as tall as the tree. I'm not even joking. That shit was like, oh shit. And then I saw one of the homies that I knew from here. He actually doesn't live here anymore, but I knew him from here. He actually played one of our events. I wish I could remember his DJ name. His
Who?
name's Chris. I don't think he.
Chris.
Yeah.
What event?
It's at the Hub. One of the events at the Hub. He like closed. He was like one of the later acts. Closing it.
Damn, I wish I don't.
We'd have to look back at the.
Yeah, what?
remember his
Man, have
DJ
you
name.
had that many DJs? I feel like I remember them all, but I guess not.
Yeah, he did play one of ours. He probably had the Grizz jersey on too.
That sounds familiar.
White guy, flat bill brim cap. Anyways, I saw him. I was like, "Yo, what's up?" He's like, "Wait, hold on." He's like talking to somebody. He's like, "Hey, I don't know where your camped at, but their car just blew up. You see that fire?" I didn't even notice the fire at first. Like, you see that? I looked over. I was like, "Whoa!"
What?
He's like, "Yeah, car just blew up, and it's spreading fast. So I don't know where you're sleeping or if you have any camp neighbors over there. I would start letting people know." Me and Ali still went back to our camp to change real quick and get some other shit we needed. Then we went back and we were like, "Yo, we gotta go now." I was like, "I don't know what's gonna happen. We need to fucking get back to camp ASAP." And I was telling like people as we're going back, I was like, "Hey guys, I don't know where y'all parked, but there's a big ass fire over there."
That's just fucking hilarious that you
And
see a
people are like-
fire and someone tells you that a car blew up and you're like, all right, well, we still gotta get our shit first. And we'll tell them eventually.
Yeah,
It's
it
not
was
gonna.
funny
They're not gonna blow, bro.
As we're telling people though, people are like, "Haha." Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm serious. Like, there's look, and they're like, "Oh."
No, that's a fire.
And then whenever I went to gather our friends, the people that are directly around them, I let them know too, and they were like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm serious." Like, "Are you joking right now?" Like, yeah. I was like, "I know you're on drugs and
You're
this is
getting
really
mad at
hard-
you.
This is really hard for you to take in right now. This is not a joke. A car just blew up. It's on. There's a fire. I don't know where you're camped at. I would go check just to make sure."
There is a fire.
And like 3 cars got like caught on fire with that before they stopped it, cause like the police and shit weren't letting the fire truck in for a while. Like they were being some hoes, but yeah, so they were arresting people. Like they basically was like entrapment. The owner of the land let the more police like onto the thing. Like if they saw you with any type of drugs or anything, they arrested. They made like 30 arrests inside the festival.
Damn.
Dude, it was crazy too, cause my friend at one point was having like went into psychosis and tripping out, bro. And there was like someone getting arrested like 30 feet from us. Like, and I had to like hold his hands and like be there with him.
Oh my god.
I was like, bro, if he freaks out right now, we're done.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we're not done. He's getting arrested. I don't have any, but he's getting fucked right now because that person literally got arrested 30 feet from us.
And that's fucking.
And then to end the festival, I was mad because it was Future Primitive into Manic Focus into Yeti. And I was so stoked for it. They cut all their sets to 20-minute sets. So it was like 3 artists, 1 hour, basically.
What?
And we're like, what the fuck? Everyone's pissed off. And you're like, what the fuck? Because you don't know what's going on. And then they send everyone back to camp. Turns out, like, I guess a cop was, like, fucking with somebody. That dude was on drugs. They tased him, and the dude bit into the cop's head.
Like took a
Oh my
fat ass chunk
God.
out of his shit.
Yeah, it took a golf ball chunk out of that.
For sure. Like not a
What?
small. I'll build it up. Actually.
There's evidence.
Yeah. That shit was crazy, dude. Big ass. So, like, it was really crazy because I will say Soulfest probably has some of the best vibes of, like, any fest that I've ever been to. But it really was ruined. It was ruined by, like, a couple things, like police arresting people, a fire, and someone biting a cop's head.
Yeah, I mean that would kind of ruin it. I don't
It
know.
didn't ruin it entirely, but it is like, you're like, okay, a lot of shit that's not great is happening.
Well, I can't like ruin it in the sense of like it can't erase what you've already experienced.
Yeah.
But from that moment forwards, like going forwards, it's like, well, this kind of sucks. I mean, this shit's crashing out. I mean, it is interesting. Now you have a story to tell.
No, yeah.
It is like,
But the vibes there were great. Like, everyone was so chill. So
Saw
fucking
over
cool.
50 arrests.
Over 50 arrests inside the festival. Like, you gotta think that's a lot.
that's a lot of arrests.
Florida man.
I mean, 1 arrest inside of a festival for drugs is crazy. Like, unless you're like acting out and being aggressive towards a police officer, arresting people is insane.
Oh my.
We can't show that, but we cannot show that. Don't click on that.
Well, we were on that screen already.
Oh, we were.
Yeah,
Oh, we'll have to cut that then.
yeah. I don't know if you were like.
I
that was
I didn't know he
vague.
pulled it up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know how bad it was gonna be.
I'd have to,
I also didn't know it was gonna show that.
I'd
Here,
have to
time.
blur it out or something.
15 minutes in.
Okay, 15. I'll just have to blur it.
Here,
If I blur it out, it's cool.
Yeah, you could just put like. You guys are gonna have to go.
you
and
could
look
put
it
like
up
our logo over
simultaneously.
it or something.
But it is kind of rough though.
Sorry,
Damn.
guys.
Bit that.
I did not know I was on screen.
Yeah, he did bite. He bit that.
But yeah, over 50 arrests.
Insane. Great weekend though. Again, like the people were awesome. The water. I got fucking burnt the last day too because I just fell asleep. Too.
Sounds like a vibe though.
It was a fucking vibe. The roast wing was awesome, bro. They had slides there, multiple different slides in different areas. It was fucking ton of great sets, stacked lineup. They sold out though, and they changed their name. Metamorphosis, a little on the nose too. Guys, we're changing into something else.
We're morphing
Yeah, they are. Hey, come on.
into a festival that is basically
That's
entrapping
all that-
people.
Well, I feel like after
Was
what
it the
happened to them,
festival that was
they
like
probably needed like a PR shift. They
well
were just
true,
like,
but like was it the festival that like did they have any involvement in the cops?
No, it's the owner of the land.
But they
talked to the
they
owner.
got tricked basically by the owner of the land.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is silly because they like, no, it's different ownership. We've talked to them. They're cool. But like 5 years before, there was a different, like smaller local promotion group that threw something there that also had entrapment happen. They made a bunch of arrests there. Actually, so many arrests that the fucking head, like, not like chief or sheriff. I forgot what they're called.
Did you get like a promotion or something?
Yeah, he got promoted to like the head guy over like all the police force.
what?
Isn't that crazy how that works?
He led the arrests. Like he led. Yeah,
Just
the
he,
intra-
he ambushed a rave. That's what he got promoted for. Why not fucking doing some real shit out there in the damn streets?
man.
If you would have seen those cops go, those were like boony ass cops.
Oh
Like,
my God.
they probably didn't know how to read.
Damn, that's tough.
Jesus.
Yeah, dude. Like our first experience was that guy actually. He was yelling because they had a direct traffic and he was mad.
Mad about what?
Having to do his job?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Most part.
Like he came and yelled at the people like giving out wristbands. Like y'all need to figure this shit out now. They're like, we're literally giving out wristbands. Right? we
Things
don't.
are going as planned.
Like, we don't give out, like we don't make those decisions. So then they had to find somebody to get with the officer. Yeah, fuck that Fulton County. I think I remember it because
Fuck the whole county.
fuck that place, bro. If you're ever in Florida or passing through Fulton County, fuck them. It's really sad too because the festival was made. Like the whole like birth of the festival was to remember one of their friends, like the people who were throwing the festival, who had passed away, like 25, 26.
Yeah.
To remember, he loved like they used to, and the thing was they used to go to like where they threw it in Florida. That's where they originally wanted to have it, but they weren't able to, so they did it in Alabama. Alabama Slam. That's what's called Alabama
Kind of fire.
Water Park. I know, but then that place closed down because it got sold.
Hmm.
So then they were able to get it at the original place in Florida, and that's a place they all used to go as kids
Mm.
to like swim and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
damn,
like-
he turned on them like that.
And no, it's like that's some real evil shit, bro. Because
Yeah.
like it was because the whole festival was to remember him. They did an effigy at the end of the festival. They would build this whole like
Like a Burning Man type of thing.
they would build this whole like figure out, and then they would burn it the last day. And like as like a remembrance is like to all people who passed. They did a slideshow the last day. They would let you send pictures in, and then the year I went, they had a whole tree where you would send in the pictures. They printed them out and they put them on the tree. You could write like a
Didn't y'all
letter
do
to
one
him.
for Joe?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did one for Joe. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did do one for Joe. We got to see the picture that we posted, and then we wrote because you were able to like write something. We
Yeah.
each wrote something
Yeah.
Damn.
to the person, stuff like
Wow.
some real. Yeah, and then it basically just like shit on the memory of this.
The whole like purpose of it got tarnished.
Yeah, so now I'm looking at it too, it being sold to like a whole nother company, and then that company kind of it's just like I'm like this is just the capitalism. I mean, can I blame them? I guess not really, but it's just nasty to me. Ew.
Yeah.
It's like ew.
It's in lack
I
of
don't know
better
how
terms,
you.
the
I don't know how you got here. Like we were originally
the river,
right.
and we were talking about just like the float fest and
Right, but then it
deep
got
into,
like it got like super like deeper and darker as it went on, and I was like, "Are we going somewhere here?
Then-
Like,
then it was,
does this have purpose, or are we just
were
like
talking about festivals
shitting on this festival and, how
and
dark
then
it can get out
he
there?"
was like reliving his trauma. I think as he was talking about it, he was like re-experiencing it. And the
halfway
emotions,
through,
just, like,
I was like, "Wait, did I start this?"
like, damn, it's like, I said, okay, keep going. Oh, it was.
Oh, that's all good, though.
Someone.
Yeah.
He died at 25.
Yeah. Oh,
What?
no.
What is going on right now in this story?
It did kind of get just worse and more. Imagine, but okay.
That's life
Not to
sometimes.
get deeper
No,
or
no.
darker here,
I
but
was just fucking with you.
imagine doing all that and the people are like, this fest fucking sucks. They really dropped the ball. They shit it.
Oh
Just
my
Someone
God.
just typing out like, your friend would have.
Waste of my money. Your friend would have hated it.
Jesus. Honestly.
Would he have been happy with what you done?
Not the what you've done.
Look at what you've done. 50 ravers arrested. Is this what he would have wanted? I'm just kidding. That's fucked up. I hope they,
Oh my
they won't see
God.
this, but they would be upset probably. But
It's a sentiment that counts.
again, had a great time. It was most of it was really really.
That's the funny thing about like any like festival where like tragedy happens, or like Astroworld, or like the one that was in Michigan. I think it was. I don't know if it was Forest, but there was a kid that like died in a lake or something like that.
Well, yeah, he went missing. They actually just found him
Really?
like
Live?
last year. No.
Oh, damn. Sorry. That being said, there's always like these not always tragedies that happen, but when there is a tragedy that happens at like these large events, there's always like people on the other side of the event that either didn't know that happened or weren't attached to that happening. They're like, I had a great time. Like, I had such a good time at Astroworld. It's like, wait, people died there. It's like, well, yeah, but I was like over like at that side. I was over here with my friends and we had a good time. It's like, whoa.
I bet there probably are a lot of people that think that. I didn't know too many people that went to Astroworld, but I bet there are people that had that fucking mentality. I know like at Eclipse, someone passed away at Eclipse as well, and that was definitely the case of like the fest. Like most people didn't even know really because it was so big and it was such a mess that like.
Also, it was dude. It's really. The thing is at some of these things, it's hard to like Astroworld for sure. A lot went wrong with that. There was a lot they could have done. That was for sure a fuck up on a lot of accounts. But like most of the time, it's like you can't account for like what drugs people are taking or what health problems some people have. And human beings, it can happen.
No,
We
right.
have thousands and thousands and thousands of people.
Truly.
But where were we going?
But yeah, no, I was gonna say our event went well. That's
And we're back.
Yeah, our event did go. It went well, and we had a good time. Again, shout out Eden. It is actually crazy because I feel like that place is like designed for like a little bit of an older crowd almost. The cocktail bar, it's a little bit more chill, like patio based. You're outside, chilling on the patio. It has a vibe though. It does have a vibe, like neon trees kind of in the background.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely like captured a version of like a digital Eden. Like, that's what I imagined.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say though, because it's in San Marcos, there definitely aren't marketing towards an older. There is really not a big older crowd.
Yeah.
So I mean, but it is that vibe. I know what you mean, but I think that's just smart. It's just like they just know like that's what people eventually like, so they'll probably like it earlier if they're exposed to it.
That's fair.
Yeah, and honestly, if it was like actually on the square, it'd probably be pretty fucking jumping.
Like if we had a place like that anywhere on this side,
Oh my
it
god.
would go insane.
Oh my god, it would be.
It'd be so
insanity.
popular. It'd be so
Yeah.
popular. It's a small little cocktail bar, but it can double as a club.
Oh, for sure. And
Like a small one, not like a crazy club, but like it can have that vibe too.
Gotcha.
I mean, when you combine inside and outside, I mean, you have a good amount of people there, like the inside and outside.
Again, the patio is fucking.
Yeah, patio is.
It's not
nice.
even really. Is that what you would call the patio? Like imagine like if you were to like shrink down Labrisa's patio, like quarter. You know what I mean? It has
Theirs
that
is like
vibe.
more like at this point a fucking courtyard.
This is almost that.
Yeah,
It's
it's-
close.
the quote unquote patio is probably
They have a
almost the
TV out
size,
there, you know what
almost
I'm
the
saying?
same size as the actual building.
Yeah.
It's probably
Yeah.
only slightly smaller. So it is kind of like it's not a massive place. So I wouldn't say it like I don't know about that place, but I'm assuming it's big.
Yeah.
The way he was talking about it, it's not
La
that-
Brisa?
Yeah.
Their backyard, they're like, it's basically called the backyard now because it's just like a fenced in, like fat ass fucking yard where they just put like little games and chairs and tables and swings and all these
Or
different
TVs
shits.
out
Yeah,
there.
fat ass TVs and shit.
I think that's just like everything kind of moved that way. When you think of like McIntyre's,
but that's because I mean, like, whenever you have like open space, like, why not use it? Like, think about like Little Woodrow's. Like, they
I
had
was thinking,
like that used to be a building, and they ripped the fucking roof off that motherfucker so that they can like have an open backyard in the same like space. They didn't have to create like more space in the back of that like lot or anything. They just kind of said, "Fuck this shit. We only need like we only need literally like 45 to 50 yards of like inside for people to like hang out and eat dinner and do whatever the fuck they want to do while they're here."
everyone wants to be
Have
outside,
parties,
feels-
but people want to be outside.
Yeah,
Even if
sure.
it's hot, we'll have fans, we'll have the misters, we'll have some shit, and like you can get some cold beers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck that. We're gonna be outside. The only way we're not gonna be outside is if it's like raining heavy type shit. Shit, even if it's like fucking like lightly raining, I might still be outside. Just in a fucking like puffer or some shit. I'll just be outside fucking drinking my beer. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Rain rain ain't nothing to me.
Dead ass. Dead ass.
But there's something about that open space like view though. That like having the like not being so like kind of closed in.
No, I like it. I think it's a good.
Yeah.
Like I said, that place was. Also, you should come see us if you're watching this. Check out the MC. Go follow our Instagram page at Demont Music. Might as well plug our shit now.
I can pull it up.
Yeah. So we're gonna pull it up here in a second. But yeah, the Mont Music. Give us a follow on Insta, man. We're fucking coming out the gates. We've been doing events for a while. We're trying to push it. Just did some shit in Austin. We're gonna do some shit. Or we did some shit in Dallas. We did a rooftop event. I wasn't there for that. Evan was at the rooftop event though, in Dallas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And yeah, we're trying to do more shit, kind of just across the state. You don't want to show too much. Yeah.
I thought you were on it, but then.
No, I was, but I opened up a second one. So yeah, I got this one.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay.
you
Okay. Okay.
You
Okay.
could just switch.
And here we are, baby.
This is the Mont Music Collective on Instagram. If you check out some of their posts here, a lot of their flyers from previous events that I've run, as well as some pictures and some cool art on here. But essentially, their Eventbrite what is this for? The Southside session? Did that already happen?
That's way past.
Oh, you'll need to update that.
We're about to have another one.
That's
Yeah,
true.
We're about to have another one. Well, the thing is, too, the Austin one, there was no link.
Oh,
Walk in,
fair.
it's free.
Fair. That's cool. I didn't know that. That's cool. But and then mine is Six Man Media Live. It's a sports cards page. We do live shows every Sunday. You just click this link right here and it takes you to Whatnot, which is where we actually do our shows on. The app is free, and then we also have like a $15 like reward thing that we can send out. We usually post it on our story, so check us out on there. And we also have a Kobe Bryant card giveaway that's live. It's gonna run once we hit 100 followers. We're currently at 90, so get your last second entries in, guys. See you guys next week.
Dude, honestly, I'm gonna get crazy collection. Not excited for like that time, but like
For what?
the amount of collection of Hot Wheels for sure. I think it's probably like the biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
Hella crazy, just Hot Wheels.
Well, it's kind of fun that I'm like starting to find out in like this avenue that I'm like running down with this stuff is that like a bunch of our friends, and not even like close friends, but like people that we've known from our past, like either collected basketball cards or stuff like that when they were kids, or their parents did, and they just like people have been. You remember Jalen Farmer? He was like in 12th grade when we were in 9th grade. He danced with
Skateboarder.
Cricket. Yeah. You remember him?
How could yeah.
Fuck you. How could I forget? People could forget anything.
He was a skateboarder.
I used to
Shit.
skate with him.
So anyways, he
He
texted
wasn't
me.
that much older than us.
He was. He graduated in 2012.
Yeah, he works at
Well, let's not dox
that place.
yeah.
But that being said,
The brunch spot.
yeah, he messaged me yesterday, like while we were doing our show, and he just was sending me like pictures and videos of like all these like old classic like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan cards and stuff like that. I was like, hell yeah, dude! And it was one of those things where I realized I was like, I haven't talked to bro in like a long ass time. I've seen him a couple times like in passing, like out in the wild,
Yeah.
but
Kind of crazy. He was kind of like a big bro in a weird.
he was always a big bro in like a lot of ways. But that being said, it was one of those moments where I was like, damn, like I'm kind of been in this shit now to where like people that are like from our past or from like that know us to some degree are seeing that I'm in this avenue. Like, oh shit, I have basketball cards. Let me hit him up and see if he wants this shit. This is the third person that has hit me up on some like, hey, yo, I got this collection. Like, what do you think like about this stuff? You remember Chase the cheerleader?
Yeah.
He's got like $4,000 worth of Pokemon cards. I don't know anything about Pokemon, but he's just got like all these like, like
That
nice
avenue
stuff.
is crazy right
it's
now.
booming heavy.
People are like, dude, people are making money just off of streaming unwrapping of like Pokemon
Yeah.
cards right now. Magic and Pokemon go stupid
Yeah.
in terms of collectors.
I don't really understand. I guess Pokemon is super popular because it's like just the IP.
It's like a global thing too. I feel like
But Magic, I actually fuck with Magic. I think Magic is a cool
Yeah,
ass
I mean,
game.
in terms of
One Piece is picking up too on
One
like their
Piece is
trading
picking up,
card
yeah.
game stuff.
trading card game.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah. It's catching steam. Yeah.
It's-
I would
picking
imagine
up.
because One Piece is like probably one of the like most renowned anime.
Yeah.
It,
But also because the lore is
most
so
popular
deep,
right
like
now.
you imagine how many characters you can pull a card for, like
But you
in
wanna know
their
something
in their
interesting
world.
About One Piece, the first chapter of the manga dropped on my like actual birthday.
No shit.
Yeah,
Like the day you were born.
The day I was born.
That's
I
crazy.
don't care about people knowing. July 22nd, 1997. That's the first chapter of One Piece started.
That's insane.
Insane.
And it's still going to this day.
I have to say just because
Your life is the One Piece.
Yeah. When I looked that up, I was just randomly looking. I was like, no fucking way, no way.
it really is funny when you think about like One Piece is the friends you made along.
Literally,
It's kind of the friends that is true. We thought about doing that at a festival where it's like you tell somebody like, hey, here's your side quest, go find the One Piece. And you look for this person, and this person has like a box, and it's like a thing that says.
Meet
along the
meet
way.
along
Yeah,
the
and
way.
you're just like, fuck you.
Or it could be real. You might actually make
Like-
some friends along the way.
Yeah,
you
that's
might be
true.
like, shit.
For the side quest, like, hey.
Yeah, like you might like asking people
It
in
would
my
be
vibe,
legit.
like especially at a festival, like should be popping off randomly.
But actually, it's crazy that we did bring up One Piece just now randomly because one of the things I want to talk about was because I just started it. I just started One Piece.
Oh jeez.
I know, right? I have a long.
It's funny because once the Netflix show came out, I really loved what they did with that.
Oh, it
and
was
I don't
great, yeah.
I don't know like how like people that love One Piece like felt about it.
It was great.
That being said, I was like, wow, this is really good. I like the lore of this. I'm gonna get started. I played like 2 episodes. I was like, all right. I was like, how many do I have left to go?
It does start to pick up though, but yeah, I'm probably like episode 80 something right now, which is a fraction. You know,
It's
It's
tough.
been literally going on since I was born.
Yeah.
It's tough whenever like
Crazy, yeah.
Like,
I
literally.
get the purpose of it, but for me, it's tough whenever there's shows like that where it's like you get bits and pieces per episode, and you have to watch like 75 to 80 episodes to get like a full like part of the story started.
I love that.
I'm not saying that that's bad. It's just one of those things where I don't have the patience for it.
It's
so
the
like
time really.
for me, it's like I did that with Dragon Ball when I was growing up, and like going from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z to like all the different like iterations and stuff. After a point in time, I was like,
Dude.
how much more can we do?
It's 10 episodes per any new adventure.
Okay.
Like legitimately, if they land on an island, expected to be 10 episodes before anything is resolved.
Okay. See, but I have the PTSD of not being able to binge binge though, because it's one of those things where like I used to get like, okay, so Goku's fighting Frieza. Well, they announce it to be continued, and then it comes back and they like throw one punch to be continued, and then like Goku's talking to somebody, he's like trying to get some hope, and then to be continued, and then like it's just one of those things. By the time they're actually fighting, you've watched 4 to 7 episodes.
Yeah. No, it's not that far from that. It's really not that far from that. You're like,
I mean, early One Piece is better than that, than that, and, like, but
Yeah.
it's also not because the thing is, that payoff in Dragon Ball Z was the reason why I was like that. Because that was like the ultimate payoff.
It was the ultimate payoff.
He wanted to end the series there. He honestly kept wanting. He wanted to end the series there. Then he wanted to end it after Cell. But then, like, he basically it was too popular, so he decided to continue going on with the series. But I mean, yeah, One Piece. I wish you luck. It's pretty good. I mean, I'm like caught up. I think it's pretty good, but it's like it does drag. And honestly, even the latest arc still kind of drags.
It's crazy you say that because everyone else I've talked to just keeps getting better. They're like, dude,
It does.
wow, it's the best.
I gotta start
I would
solo
say
leveling.
I'm an outcast amongst the One Piece fans because I have a more balanced take to it. I'm not just like a fucking like this is the greatest thing ever. I like take it for what it is, even despite the fact that it and me are like fatally aligned.
Yeah.
Despite that, I think it's really good, but it fucking drags like without spoiling anything. The last fight, and this is not an exaggeration. You're talking about Dragon Ball Z. This is gonna blow your mind. The last fight between Luffy and like the big bad, it was 60 episodes.
No, you're fucking lying.
I'm not lying. That is not even an exaggeration. It was actually 60 episodes long. So that's why I'm like, it's good, but you have to acknowledge that it drags.
Okay, I'll give you this though, because the thing is, there's like what they do that I think kind of helps it out a lot is you got to understand there's like so many other characters.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
It wasn't just that you were stuck.
No,
in
yeah,
that.
there's so many different perspectives and point of views, so
They
many.
have their own shit that they're also
Right.
doing and going on.
Right.
So it kind of will cut to whatever the fuck they're doing and what they're going on that builds
No,
up with the
precisely.
story.
No, I get that.
But you're also like, I do want to see the fight, but it's also like these other people are also battling somebody.
Well, it's not even about like wanting to see the fight. I'm not super like action based. Like I gotta see some action here. Like what's going on? I can get into storylines. It's just one of those things where it's like whenever you're developing the story so deeply, I've almost like lost either patience or like interest in the fight because like all this other shit is going on. Like you've piqued my interest here, but now I have to go back to the fucking fight that I saw like 8 episodes ago.
That's some ADHD brain shit.
Literally, I'm not saying it's not.
I mean, attention spans are geared more towards that way of thinking now, anyway.
But just on
What?
a random tangent, going back off of what Josh was saying though, I actually felt like this might be a hot take, but I feel like Dragon Ball was like the best, like the actual original Dragon Ball. Like,
I agree. Well, my point was that I have PTSD from that. Is that like I already did that, and now I don't want to continue doing that with other
I'm
shows,
not
and
even-
like
I'm not
diving into
specifically-
lore and like having to deal with that shit again.
specifically talking about like the original Dragon Ball, like not even Z. I feel like Z was like the hypest, and that's where it blew up. But like Dragon Ball, when I went back and rewatched that with my uncle, it's like fucking peak. Honestly, the pacing is clean. Like there is no stalling. Fights are one episode, maybe 2.
It's also much
Like-
more funny than I remember when I was growing up. Like that shit's fucking
it's
hilarious,
goofy,
bro.
It's goofy as fuck. It's literally goofy as fuck. Like it was like that's like one of my favorite animes. Honestly, a lot of people love Z, but I'm like, man, Z had a lot of problems. It was really hype. It was the most hype B shit as a child. Don't get me wrong, but like,
And yeah, people loved it, bro. People still rep that shit.
yeah. I mean, anime
Still
has
rep
like taken over. I mean, I remember when I was growing up, I was like one of the first, not first, but I was on that shit when it wasn't cool. In exorbitantly. Like I joined the anime club, I think. And for like,
Fucking nerd.
yeah, but I only went for like.
I had my own nerd shit. I loved like the WWE shit and all
Oh
that.
yeah, my
yeah.
brother's like that.
All right, guys. Jeez, those kids. Yeah, no, I stand with Evan. All right.
No, I only went for like 2 weeks, and then I couldn't. It was actually too much for me. I was like, okay, you guys are kind of like I can't. I'm just gonna go back to being a closeted anime fan because I felt more comfortable.
Closeted anime
You want to
fan.
run with them to lunch, bro?
Nah, I couldn't. I couldn't.
I could see Evan just catching a mean Naruto
Naruto
sprint.
sprint.
I gotta
Oh,
get to
yeah.
the cafeteria.
Well, I actually
first.
do have like a sick anime cosplay concept that I came up with my uncle, like to go like from Naruto, but also not like as a sound ninja. And
Mm.
like I fucking have like the sound headband. I have like a paper mache like speak, like something light that I can carry that I'm like holding. And I'm like a sound. Actually, like a fucking sick.
Sound, yeah.
Like, because there's a village of the sound right there. There is a village.
I'm
of
the sound avatar.
sound.
The air. What I would do if I was with the air, from the air, I'd just fucking
The fucking
control the
Airbnb.
music, the airwaves with the
Yeah.
music, like control the bass, like oh. Everyone's like, oh shit.
He's got the vibes.
Imagine Aang is just like a DJ, like.
Bro, he's manipulating the air, bro. Fucking blowing
It's
my
bending time.
This shit's great. He mastered all the elements. Can you imagine he does the pyro? The fire.
Bro.
Misters.
Yeah, he like fucking water bends and like makes it rain.
Bro, that'd be like, that'd be a sick VO3 concept, honestly.
Aang the fucking DJ, bro.
The DJ, bro. DJ Aang.
That would be
That'd
crazy.
probably go viral.
Fucking earth bends and like levitates the stage.
Oh, he raises the stage himself. Like, I was like, oh, shit. He would probably be the ultimate DJ. But no, so I was watching One Piece, and there's this episode where they're on this like dinosaur island. There's these two warriors that've been fighting for like 100
The
years.
Giants.
Yeah, the Giants, and they were fighting for 100 years over. They were friends before, but they like were at odds. And basically, in their thing is like to be like they're great warriors. So one of them has to die.
Yeah.
Like that's the only honorable
They have
thing.
to fight to the death.
But they're like best friends. They're
But they've
fighting
been
to the death.
fighting for 100 years.
Yeah, they're like it's such an honorable thing, and they kind of forgot why they were fighting, but like we're still just fighting. But it's like, I just thought about that, like that kind of. I love that like tandem in like a lot of stories where it's like you think of like Harry the Platypus and fucking Dr. Doofenshmirtz. They're like at odds, but low key they're gay.
Low key, they're gay.
They're like best.
Like
They're best friends.
like Austin Powers and
There's like a secret love there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like Dr. Evil and
Yeah.
fucking Austin Powers. Like he could have killed Austin Powers. But he's like, no, you gotta. Like, I'm gonna give him the spiel.
Are they brothers?
They end up being brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do end up being brothers. And he's like, oh fuck. Yeah.
Spoilers, sorry, for 20,
Whoa.
20 years old.
It is because it's like whenever his son comes out, he's like, why don't you just? I'll go in there and shoot him right now. He's like, no, that's not what we're gonna do. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Can't do
fucking
that.
Seth. What's his
Green?
name? Green. Seth
No.
Is it? I think it's Seth Green, right?
Yeah.
It's not Seth MacFarlane. It's not Seth.
So I always get Tom Green and Seth Green. That's Seth Green. 'Cause
Yeah,
Tom
yeah.
Green's the like a little bit older. Comedian.
I would get Seth Green and Seth MacFarlane confused until obviously like I started seeing like a lot more Seth MacFarlane stuff. Like whenever I fucked with the Orville pretty heavily, so watching that stuff, I was like, okay, I can make the distinction now.
Crazy 'cause there's also a Todd McFarlane.
There is, but Seth Green's fucking one of my favorite like side comedic characters in a bunch of different stuff that he's done. Like, do you remember the episode he was in for That 70s Show?
Oh,
Or he was like trying to like steal Donna from Eric.
yeah, I don't remember.
I'm gonna have to pull that up later so I can show you. But like that shit is fucking
His
hilarious.
part in Sex Drive is fucking hilarious.
His part, the Amish dude in Sex
Amish
Drive.
guy. Yeah, we
Dude,
don't know about your computer. You're fucking.
that dude is fucking hilarious.
We're on the pop culture spill. I just watched for the first time like the Ocean series. I don't know if y'all.
Dude, yes.
Bro.
I haven't seen the Ocean's 8, the women's
I didn't
one.
watch Ocean's 8. I know.
I haven't
no offense
seen
to
that
Ocean's 8, but I did just watch like the 11, 12, and 13.
Hey,
Fire.
women.
I just haven't.
Well, now that you mention it, now that the topic's on the table.
I just haven't gotten to that one. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Said I've only seen the first 3.
I've only seen the first 3. I've only seen the first 3. I'm saving that one for a special night.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, but I was
He likes women so much
exactly.
that he's saving it for last so he can savor it.
Playing savory. I mean, I saw the cast for Ocean's 8. It seems like it'd be solid.
If you think about it, you want to go from worst to best.
Wait, have either of you seen Ocean's 8?
No.
Okay, motherfucker.
I haven't even seen 13.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
you're crazy. That's one of the best ones.
13 was my favorite.
Yeah.
And honestly, one
Oh well.
one was really good.
Original fuck you.
One was really good. I thought 2 was better than that, and I thought 3 was the best.
Yeah.
That's good, honestly.
Arguably, I would say the same.
Yeah.
1 is a great like original concept. 2 builds on it, and 3 is like the grand
Peak.
finale and like kind of they like peaked it.
Like honestly, watching that series, it literally made me existential about movies. Like
Made me want to go to Vegas. I was like, hell yeah, dude.
It made me like watching 2025. I was like, man, like movies are on the decline.
Yeah.
This series was peak. I can't imagine any like original concept like movie series coming out that will ever be something.
Well, it's
like
crazy because, like, I mean, I'm sure there was heist films before those, but like those made people make heist films.
Oh, well,
like there
yeah.
was like just think of all the different heist movies that came after that
that.
shit.
Mad clean, like the
Like,
cast that they picked.
With different energies too. Like you have the Tower Heist with fucking Ben Stiller and fucking Eddie Murphy. You got fucking The Town with Ben Affleck and
True, yeah.
Casey
All
Affleck.
great.
Like there's a bunch of different like versions of a heist movie that all came from that mode of like,
Baby
hey,
Driver.
Ocean's made a ton of fucking money. Why don't we
Yeah.
make a ton of fucking money?
I think Baby Driver did
I haven't seen Baby Driver, but I heard it's really
It is
good.
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 It's
It's
really
cool though
good.
because it's focused more on like
The driver.
driver.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But with that, yeah, that
The
one.
getaway and all
It's
that
really
shit.
good, yeah.
Yeah, that one is cool.
But even Baby, like, yeah.
I heard
don't know,
Kevin
movies-
Spacey
Yeah, are
killed
they gonna
that
make
one.
another? They'll never make anything like Pirates of the Caribbean ever again. Like that was
Original IPs have been like.
They kind of like can't though, can they?
What do you mean?
Like,
like a pirate. But it's
doesn't Disney own like the core concept?
like, of pirates?
Not like of pirates, but like of that like type
Well, I
of
think he's
movie.
just saying like some original like trilogy that's like a new thing that's just not a
That's
book
fair.
or something. It's just like someone, a director or a producer had the vision and they got a cast that really killed it and they executed on it.
They're kind of doing that with Avatar, no? Avatar 1 and 2. I
But
mean, they're
that-
so spaced out,
Yeah,
but they
I
already
would
got
almost
proof for
put
3 and
Avatar,
4
because it started so long ago. I'd almost put it
in that tier.
The concept
literally
started
came-
like 30 years.
Yeah, it literally came out so long
Well,
ago.
true. What I'm saying though is they're still establishing using the same cast and stuff like
mean,
that and building
I
upon
would
it.
say
So it
Avatar,
is kind of
yes.
built in that same world.
It's an unfinished one, but I guess I'm saying like I don't think there'll be another like a new thing like
A new concept,
here- like,
a new like first first
bro,
episode of that
Ocean's
trilogy type
Eleven
of
is
thing.
Super existential, bro. I was like, and I kind of still feel like I mean this very seriously. I don't think there will be another great IP. Like I think it's kind of dead. Like, and that might sound like super dramatic, but like really though, like looking at the previous years, like all the great stuff that's like quote unquote original, and not another movie remake, is a book or
Mhm.
something. So I'm not saying there
What
won't
about
be.
Sinners?
I haven't seen it. Is it good?
Sinners wasn't.
Have you seen it?
Well, first of
Oh.
all, Sinners I think will be a one-off movie, and second of all, Sinners was good. I have seen it. Sinners was good, but it wasn't as good as Oceans. Like it wasn't that good.
This is my problem, and I think with a lot of takes on like movies now is like, I do want to see Sinners because people were like, well, but every time nowadays it's like the bar is so low that like anytime a decent movie comes out, like dude, this
Yeah.
is the best movie. I'm like, I grew up watching insanely
Yeah, like
good
insanely
movies.
good movies.
So to be like, this is the best movie ever, and then you go watch it, you're like, this would have just been an average movie 20
See,
years
but I think
ago.
that's just letting like kind of the hype like shape your view in either a positive or a negative way. Whether you like, wow, everyone's saying this is good, and then you watch it and you like think it's good, either because everyone else is saying it and you don't want to like fall out of line, or because you actually do think it's good. Those
Yeah,
are two
well,
different
I saw
things.
Barbarian before any reviews came out, like when it came out, and I thought it sucked. And then it got renowned, like, holy
I
shit,
thought
this is
it
one of the
sucked.
best like horror movies that came out. Like that shit
I wish I
sucked.
saw it. It's like
Right,
no.
but that's what I'm saying. You just
First half is really good.
existing within your opinion of it sucking is kind of what I'm talking about. Like you just like you watched it, you thought it sucked to you. That's it.
Yeah.
Like whenever you start saying like, well, but other people liked it, that's when it's like, all right, well, why do you care about that? You watched it and it sucked. Now, if you haven't watched it and you go to say, well, other people liked it or other people didn't like it, then you can like maybe say, I need to watch it for myself so I can see who I align with to a degree. But like if you have watched it for yourself, you don't have to worry about what other people think. You don't have to
Oh,
worry
yeah.
about people with what other people say. You just have your opinion and stick with it. But the flip side of it is that if you haven't seen something and you are paying too much attention to like what other people think, then you might be going into it with that in mind. You might be going into Sinners, this is the greatest movie, so then you come out of it, this is the greatest movie. Or the opposite, everyone's saying this is the greatest movie and it sucks to you, so now everyone's wrong and you're disappointed and you wasted your money.
Well, I mean, you're gonna have one of the other experiences
because you're paying attention to like other people's
Either way,
opinions.
you'll have that experience.
Not entirely.
You're gonna love the movie or you're not.
Well, true, but I'm saying if you go into it with other people's perspective at the forefront of your mind, and then you might not be going into it having that
fresh mind,
experience
yeah, with a
for
fresh mind.
yourself. You're going into it
also-
saying this is what other people didn't like, so I have to find out why I don't like it.
It's also like I think
guess that is
I
one
think
way of-
since speaking on Sinners specifically, I mean I would give it like it's pretty good.
just
like,
a
I would give it
example.
like an 8.7 or 8.8. Like it was a pretty,
gotta see it.
like a pretty damn good movie. But I feel like for a lot of young people, like first of all, like how many people like this is kind of like a broader topic, but I think it's super real, and this is why I feel like the IPs are gonna suck. It's just that movies as a medium, like I can go back and watch something like Oceans, right? It's like from literally like the first Oceans is from the 2000s. And that experience, like if I saw it in the theater, would be literally equal to movies coming out in 2025. It would be better than honestly all of them. Like actually. And so the actual medium of watching movies, no fault of like the directors or anything, it just hasn't scaled with how every other entertainment medium has scaled over the last like.
No, it's actually gotten worse in a lot of
Well,
ways because
it's because but it's like it got worse because like the entertainment.
they used to use like
spectrum-
practical like sets and stunts and all these things, and now everything is not just CGI, but also like you have a lot of more viability to not have to be on location or not have to be on scene. You use more green screen, use more integration and all these things. It's like, yes, you can, but that doesn't mean it will be better. You have the availability to use this new technology, but this new technology is actually removing you from the art that we used to have to a degree.
Which is why I would say The Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance on Netflix is one of my favorite shows. It integrates, because they do, it's puppets, but they integrate CGI into it, where it literally is like, it looks incredible. Like they weren't like, let's just go full CGI. Let's actually mix these two different artistic styles and make something even better instead of just relying on.
Well, that's kind of what they did for like the One Piece live action, and that's one of the reasons why it was like so good. Like the ship, like the actual Sunny, they actually built that ship. Like that is not CGI. Like they built the ship. They got with the creator. Like it was a whole thing. Like they actually tried to use as much physical effects as like humanly possible.
It does make them.
What you're supposed to do
Yeah,
in
like-
that field, like why have millions of dollars to use if you're not gonna use it?
And it was really good. Yeah, and you're so I see where you're coming from, because yeah, actually that was one of the things that as someone who watches One Piece, I appreciate it. I was like, they didn't make it look super cringe. Like they had to use CGI for like Luffy a little bit, but they literally tried to use as little as humanly possible, and they like, kept the integrity. And it's like if you're gonna make it live action, like that's what you should do. And so you're right though. A lot of people are cheating those or are skating those corners.
Well, I mean, there is something interesting about like your point about there not being any new IPs that will like kind of command like the pop culture going forward, because relatively even all of the newest IPs are based off of old ones. Like think about
Yeah,
Creed.
exactly.
Like Creed had its own like trilogy, right? But that's all based off of the Rocky movies.
Yeah.
So like while they were good, the Creed movie, I fucked with them. I liked them,
Oh.
but it was one of those things where it's like this isn't necessarily new IP.
Yeah.
This is like a side story or a spin-off of a currently existing
Like
IP.
Doom
What does
2?
IP mean?
Intellectual
Yeah,
property.
intellectual property.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
Dune 2 is a book. Like
It's a book.
book,
But it's
like-
also been done. It's a remake.
and it's a book and a remake.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it's there will be good movies, but there'll be books, there'll be remakes, there'll be old things reimagined.
But the book thing is like,
So like something that you said earlier about like being a little bit of a different One Piece fan, it kind of like spoke to like how I view myself as like a Marvel fan, like because most of the time it's like, yeah, no, this shit sucks, but at the same time I'm not really in it. I'm not watching these Marvel movies because I'm like looking at it as a cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah.
I'm watching
No,
it because I
literally.
loved the fucking comic books and getting to see some of like my favorite like superheroes from when I was growing up on the page
It's just
on the
cool.
screen is cool as shit.
Yeah, it's just
And
cool.
like seeing some of the stuff that they're able to do, and of course some of the CGI looks horrible, but also some of the stuff that they're able to do with the CGI looks fucking cool as shit too. So like at the same time, it's like if you don't go in with it like such a critical mind for some stuff like that, then you can really enjoy it a lot more. But the moment you're like, well, this isn't exactly like that, and this isn't this character would never say that. Like, all right,
Well,
you're doing a lot more than you need to do
what's
right
funny,
now.
I feel like what's funny about the Marvel movies is they actually fucked up by making a good movie. Like
Yeah,
making
like-
Avengers Endgame was like an actual good movie. And by making that, the rest of the movie, like people watching Marvel movies after were like, wait, whoa, this isn't good. Like it's like you actually show like, wait, we can have cool superheroes and a good movie with like a payoff and like meaningful deaths, etc.
Well, it's crazy because people forget that like the only reason Endgame slaps so fucking hard is because Infinity War was
Yeah.
actually the first like superhero movie that's ever been like made on that scale,
Yeah.
where the heroes didn't win at the end.
Exactly. They
So
took a
like
L.
it left you on this cliffhanger of like, wait,
Yeah, you're like, what?
Spider-Man's fucking dead? But then that's what paid the payoff was that much bigger whenever they had all these fucking portals opening and everybody comes into the fight and you see this big ass fucking scene and everyone cheers.
But even still, having I mean, it's a spoiler. Yeah, obviously, we're 2025. Having Tony die like at the end was also like, even though the heroes won, like the best portion. Like, Iron Man was like probably one of the best series. Like not
Right.
individually, but his character was
I
like.
heard there a lot about
It's like him dying is like all the Marvel fans knew that. Like,
Well,
with
it was
his
the
death, it's
original
like-
MCU IP, basically.
Yeah, it's
like,
like with his
there was
death-
Marvel movies before that, but it wasn't connected to the MCU at that time. Like
Yeah.
Blade and Daredevil and some of those. There was like
We knew it was like the end
those
of
were
an
really
era.
good.
I did like all those.
Those were
I
really
watched
good.
like all the, but that was before the MCU shit.
And then the Spider-Man series, the trilogy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I love Spider-Man too. Also watch.
Yeah. But like that's what I'm saying. So like that experience though, like being left at the end of Infinity War, be like, wow, this is the first time I've ever felt this way, where I watched a superhero movie and they didn't win. So this didn't go the way I thought it would. But then obviously they still pick up and the heroes win in the end, time travel, whatever the fuck. The point is that like you don't have to love it, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, this is invoking something crazy, but you have a point where it's like they kind of shot themselves in the foot by never being able to make something like that
Yeah,
again.
it's like, it was too good.
Well, even
You have to keep making stuff because you have so much money coming in, but you will never be able to top yourself.
Not even just that though. I mean, if you look at like the new Superman movie, I think it looks sick because it
That's
looks
James Gunn,
cartoony
though.
and it looks what?
That's James Gunn, though.
Yeah,
Pretty
but
much
it looks
name
like-
a James Gunn project that didn't look cool.
No, this is where I'm getting at. Is it looks like comic booky. A lot of people are like, this looks like shit.
Well, that's
And,
yeah.
like, it
People are
looks
hating.
corny and it looks dumb. It's like, yeah, because then you had some shit like fucking Endgame where it's like they did this big fucking production, looks like a great movie. It's like you can't just have fun anymore. This
Well-
can't look silly. It can't be a fun comic book.
Yeah,
fucking
I will say
movie.
that there is overlap. Like it's not
Yes.
just Marvel. It's like superhero movies as the medium peaked with Endgame, and now everything else is like fighting. It's honestly like been a phenomenon. I think
Yeah.
even for the companies themselves that they might not have realized like how it was gonna go, but it seems like ever since Endgame, it's just been like an uphill battle for them.
Yes.
Like it was a downward battle where they were just building momentum very easily, and then Endgame, and then now they've been like fucking playing the game with the weights on.
But I mean, it's hard for me to say. I don't
My
really
thing
like
is
superhero
that like
movies
that's
much.
why I view myself on that side of the coin for like superhero fandom shit, because it's like I think this new Superman movie is actually going to be one of the best ones made ever.
I'm excited.
Because what they're actually going to do is go for the comic accuracy, go for the fun, like Superman story, not be on this like dark fucking level of this
Yeah.
being an alien from another planet. It's gonna be Clark Kent. We're going to have some fun. We're going to be like fun loving. And then he's also going to like be like a comically accurate like Superman, to the way that like people don't really love him at first because they don't accept him. But then they also like see how much like he cares about the city and Lois Lane and da 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 da.
But that shit
but-
is still dark. Though.
Not
He's
really.
more of the lighthearted one, but it's still kind of like
I mean, have you seen it?
What?
What?
Superman
What are you talking about?
in general. DC Comics, Superman.
They're just
How
saying
he's
the
portrayed.
lore.
The
The
lore is
lore
not
isn't-
as dark as it's been on TV and on all these things though. Like in the comics, there are some like runs that are pretty dark, but like the original Superman stuff is pretty lighthearted.
Like, outside of Doomsday, like
Yeah,
Like
but that's
pre-Doomsday.
later on in the
Like pre-Doomsday, I guess you could
Yeah,
say.
like the originals, like kind of like introduction to Superman was like basically obviously his planet exploded, but he was sent off in like a ship, and then like it was like this kind of like Smallville did a kind of a good way of explaining it to a degree. It's like he's
Also
just a
dark-
kid.
Smallville's darker also too. It's a lot of fucked up Lex Luthor, and then fucking like a lot. He sees a lot of the people around him change, and like all of
Yeah.
his villains.
I mean, there are evil fucking villains in every superhero story,
Yeah.
but it's not that like it's not
He has to
dark
battle
in the
within
way that you're.
himself. Like there's a point where like he has to like fight his girlfriend who turns kind of like evil
Ooh, Lana?
in Smallville.
Yeah, she was like possessed for a second, but like yeah. But
I mean,
no, I mean,
depends on what you're. I guess I don't know what you're perceiving as dark. As
Okay,
compared to,
so-
like the lighthearted.
to give you like some idea of like dark, so like the Man of Steel, Henry Cavill, like that started out with like they started the story where he was already like missing for years. They didn't do the original story where he like landed and then fucking like grew up as a farm boy and da 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 da. They started it at the point like this was the cinematic story. They started at the point where he's an alien. He's been like people know of him. But he's been gone for years and we don't know where Superman is. And then like it's this like story of like basically Lex being so evil that he like lures him back out into the public sphere, and people have this different viewpoint on like whether they love him or like whether they hate him for being like leaving them like stranded for so many years. Da 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 da. So it's like this aspect of like you're not even getting to see like Superman as like the alien. I was gonna say the person, whatever
You're
it is.
seeing more of a storyline.
You're seeing like a painted out storyline of like this is this character's like arc basically, whereas like that's not even really the full character arc, because the only reason like he left was because his father died, and that was fucking 4 or 5 years before they even started off where most people on like the Henry Cavill Superman started out would say that's like their Superman. Because if you think about it, like we get to say we know like some Superman lore because like some of the stuff we saw growing up, like the animated series, the fucking like early on Christopher Reeve stuff, we get to use those. But like name a child that's watching Christopher Reeve's VCRs or fucking even streaming that shit. Not, like even the animated shows aren't accessible everywhere because DC had some like rights issues for a little bit. They fixed them now. They're on HBO now.
Yeah. They have
but
a good like what is it? The Adventures of Superman. I feel like that was
that one's good. The DC one,
solid.
Yeah.
it's like an anime Superman.
Yeah, and they made it. I think that was like their trial run for this movie because it actually did really well. It's like pretty good, honestly. But just on a side tangent, the Max DC animated stuff honestly is all.
So good, dude.
It's a
Animated
bunch of
DC
cooks.
shit goes hard.
It's just a bunch of cooks after cook after cook.
Yeah, but without getting like super nerdy, my thing is that this one's gonna be better because it's actually a little bit more comic accurate without trying to like prove a point. Whereas those Man of Steel
Trying to
ones
prove a point.
were trying to show like this is Superman, he's the strongest ever, be afraid of him. Until it was like it was more the idea of the fucking Battle of New York in Marvel, where it's like, all right, the Hulk's a fucking thing. Holy shit! At least he's on our side.
Well, do you think it was like? Do you think it was because like Batman was so successful? They're like, let's kind of ride off of that coattail of Batman.
No, I think what that was is they were trying to do something different, and it didn't really play out exactly how they wanted
Because
it
the
to.
people who were making it were old, so they already
Yeah.
saw all of that. But the people they were showing it to were young, so they're not bored of the Superman lore because they didn't grow up watching it in the movies like the people who made it did.
Like, think about like the whole Batman versus Superman stuff.
Oh
like,
God,
that shouldn't have happened. It did. We got a series like of that plus the Justice League movie that kind of like played off of that. But theoretically speaking, like all of that was not anywhere near comic accurate.
I feel bad for Ben Affleck because he took that role probably thinking it was like this is great, and somehow that Batman role for him made his or not.
I don't feel bad for Ben Affleck at all. Like he's got a great life. He's doing fine.
yeah,
Whether or not people respect him as Batman was the least of his
Ben
worries.
Affleck would have played
He's got Jennifer Lopez to worry about.
he would have played a good like. I mean, he's already so old. I feel like he would have been better as the Flashpoint Batman's dad than.
Oh, that would have been good, yeah.
Yeah, he would have done a very good job in that role. I think.
Flashpoint Paradox is gonna be one of the most goated fucking.
Like storylines.
They definitely
Yeah.
took the Flash and the one with what's his face that everyone hate, Idris Elba. No, not Idris. Why did I say
Ezra
Idris? Ezra Miller. I said Idris. Yeah, Idris Elba as the Flash would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious, bro. Wally West.
It's just old. It's old.
Old as
Man.
fuck, Wally West.
Man.
Multi-verse
Kid Flash.
shit, right? Yeah, holy shit. But yeah, Ezra Miller. I think they were trying to take on that. That was what that movie was.
What?
was
The Flashpoint Paradox?
It
Oh,
was
it was.
the Flashpoint Paradox. It was just.
Yeah.
I mean, it honestly,
worst
I didn't hate
version.
it. I didn't hate
It's
it.
the same story.
Yeah, I didn't hate
It was
it.
good, but it wasn't as good.
In what way?
As the animated version, the animated the animated version, the scale was much greater.
It was insane.
Like,
Oh,
there was
what
a
I was
whole
gonna
war.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, there was a whole war that
Insane.
happened.
well, what I was gonna say is that like in that scope, like that's simply like you have so much more free reign in animation.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like to be able to explain, but not only to be able to explore that like cinematically on like live action, but also to have like the screen time like accepted. Like think about the Justice League Snyder shit. I talked to you about it. It's like they cut off like an hour and a half to 2 hours of the like whole runtime, and it literally changed the entire scope of the movie, and it sucked. And then they released the full one. It's like, oh, this doesn't suck. You guys just cut all the good shit. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you're combating not only like having the technology or even availability to create some of the stuff that you can through animation, but also the fact that there's studios that are going to cut down your runtime and edit shit that you probably is required for the story to get its full scope. Whereas animation is like you can either do episodes or you could do part 1s, part 2s. You can do all these things 'cause it's not going to a theater. You don't have to focus on this one specific piece of content getting run. You can do multiple sets and have your story get run
Also
through
cheaper.
that animation, and it's much cheaper.
Cheaper to scale. They probably I was thinking about that when I saw they were doing Flashpoint. I was like, in order to do it right, it's like a lot of actors. You'd have to have, I think Wonder Woman was in it and Aquaman. You would need both of them like full time basically.
I did like the concept of like whenever he was in like the Speed Force in that movie, and how like it kind of did seem like time was like all happening all at once, like more like circular than linear.
Talking about in the movie.
In the movie, where like it was in that like almost seemed like a courtroom, but there's all these different things happening
where he
around
ran
him.
into himself, essentially.
Right. Yeah. It's like one of those things where it's like that was a kind of a good depiction for me for the Speed Force, because if you're like traveling through that like space, like there are going to be all these different things simultaneously happening. It's just about like how you're accessing it, and like whenever he's like focusing on any one thing, that's like his access point to that like point in time, basically.
Yeah, like he can go that. You know,
Yeah.
he sees it and he's able to access it. Oh yeah, I feel that. It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't as bad as everyone made it.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I think people just like to hate on DC
was
movies because they're
enjoyable.
so.
But that's
in love
any
with
movie.
Marvel.
That's kind of my point. That was why I brought it up, because he was saying the same thing about One Piece, where it's like people will hate on shit for no reason. Like this, most people's hate is not even based on anything.
Yeah,
Just
it was
then once you
insane.
watch it, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it was definitely entertaining. I'll say that. Like like there's I don't know, people were like, I don't, everything's not going to be critically acclaimed. Some stuff is
Right.
just fun and it's cool and it's goofy and it's silly and it's not going to always connect.
And I think that's actually the problem, though, is that not everything will. No, not. It's not the problem. Isn't that everything won't be critically acclaimed? It's that so many people want everything to be that. That's why we're not seeing as many fun movies
Yeah.
or just like off the wall movies. Is because it's like some movies can just be fun and cool and goofy, but then like people are like, oh, that fucking sucked. It wasn't, you didn't meet this standard. It's like, yeah, it's a dumb movie. That's the fucking.
Yeah, like I wonder
point.
how many people actually went and saw Oppenheimer. It was like it was like the
I still haven't seen it.
see, like it was like that archetype of like that intellectual thriller kind of historical documentary, like highbrow type of like but it was also mainstream. But I'm like, I really wonder how many people, and if they did, I wonder how many people like really enjoyed that.
Everyone I
Right.
know that saw it. said-
It was really good. It was.
There's a whole like Barbenheimer thing going on.
Although I will say, just to talk about Oppenheimer, one of the things that did piss me off was that they like completely removed von Neumann, who's like arguably, not even arguably, he was definitely more. He was actually the most impactful person when it comes to like the Manhattan Project. He was the person who actually discovered like the way to actually release the bomb, like in a way to where it would explode but not explode too early. And also, he's like one of the greatest minds of all time. So I'm like, this would have been a great time to like actually mention him at least. They didn't even mention my boy. I was like, what the hell?
Is there like a reason for that? Did he like cut
No.
people's heads off at the stake or something?
No, there's not really a good reason for it. Also, Alan Turing. There was a lot of really smart people who were like way more impactful than Oppenheimer in history, who also played major roles in making the nuclear bomb. And I feel like they could have told a very interesting story. Was just even mentioning them, like,
Yeah.
but they just for some reason didn't, and that kind of triggered me a little bit.
There's
Like,
always a critique, though, you know.
but that's like, it's like I don't know. Like as someone who actually knows a little bit about history, I'm like, these were some of the most interesting people of all time. It's like they had Einstein. Like imagine if they didn't even have Einstein.
But wait, were these people like me speaking? Absolutely, I don't fucking know. Were these people like collaborators with Oppenheimer, to where
Yeah.
like they should have been in the story, or were they working like in tangential like that to
Within the same
Oppenheimer?
timeline.
To where, like,
So
he wasn't
Oppenheimer-
connected to
Oppenheimer
that
was
exactly.
Oppenheimer was working on the. They were working
Because Alan Turing, that's the dude with the machines, right? Like
he
if
was the
a
grandfather
machine
of
can
computers.
pass the Turing test, right? Yeah.
He created the first computer.
Okay.
He was also made in World War II. So like they were working in the they were working in the New York portion of it. But the thing is, the New York and the New Mexico, they weren't physically connected, no, but they were working in tandem. They had ways to communicate to each other. So like the bomb itself was actually being developed simultaneously. They just had separated it because of like security reasons. Like they don't want, just in case something were to happen to one site, they didn't want all the scientists in one place. But they were working concurrently and actively communicating. So like they were geographically
I see what you're saying,
separated,
man.
But like quite literally, like the bomb would not have been able to be created without von Neumann. He
But see,
was
the
the
thing
most
is-
important person.
You could have. They could have probably mentioned him, but I think in a movie, in terms of like flow.
They had
to-
Einstein.
Yeah, but was he working like with him, or was he?
Einstein
also
wasn't. He wasn't even working with them. They just had Einstein in there because, and it is accurate, Einstein was alive, and because Einstein was talking to him about the bomb, he was giving him more of a philosophical approach to like the bomb, like talking about like, hey, like, because Oppenheimer went to him for information because he's Einstein, right? He went to him for help, and Einstein was like, yeah, I can help you out, but like, do you want me to help you out? Like, is this something that we should even do? And Einstein was I think the one who actually had the idea or like proposed it to him that like, if you do this, there is a chance that the world might literally end. Like under the first bomb, like when the first bomb goes off, like that might actually, it might start a chain reaction that never stops. So they did include that, but Einstein didn't, because of those reasons, Einstein didn't work on the bomb. Like he was alive, he was around at that time. He chose not to. But there were people who were great scientists as well and great mathematicians. Like the guy who literally basically created the computer also helped with this. They didn't mention him, but I'm like, this is one of the most important people in history. Like, I don't know. That was my critique.
Yeah, but also you got to think that like the general public's like,
Oh, they don't know.
Einstein.
Well, I think it's more so just like we have to
He
keep the
convinced
focus
his
on
point.
the main character here. If we
Yeah.
bring up these other people, then it might derail the story
just would've loved
from
just an aside,
the science
just a
here.
mention,
Yeah,
just at least
yeah,
like
I
a-
do see what you're saying. Like even a post-credit scene.
In a post-credit scene, a mention, because Oppenheimer was like the general manager. He knew his stuff. Don't get me wrong, but he was like the first. He was like the glue. He was like the glue in like the actual historical documents. He wasn't necessarily like the smartest person or like the person coming up with the most cutting edge ideas. He was smart. He knew what was going on, but he more so knew how to talk to everyone. And he was the person that was like making sure people were working together. He's like the manager kind of.
Right.
That was kind of his role. So you could argue that he was the most important because he helped everything kind of happen. But it's like there were individuals who made like significant discoveries.
Wait, didn't Einstein help work on some kind of bomb at some point though?
Einstein helped
Hydrogen
with
bomb.
like the actual math, but he wasn't a part of the project. Like Einstein just, he can't help. He was just coming up with theoretical equations. Like it was based off of math that Einstein would help generate, but it wasn't like he didn't actually go to the project and like actively participate and make the other.
But he was still like in a way.
Well, because also it's super interesting because basically what happened, and this is why this is getting political a little slightly, but the whole immigration thing is so funny because the only reason why we came up with all like von Neumann, Einstein, Oppenheimer, these are not American names.
Right.
Oh no, definitely not.
Where would these people come from? They all came from Europe. All these people came from Europe because they believed in the idea of America and they wanted to get away from a lot of the stuff that was happening in Europe. So all these like genius scientists that weren't.
That's
fucking
not
American-
exactly why they were here.
Huh?
So that's not exactly why they were
Can
here.
I just say this?
We recruited them after the war.
What's an American name?
An American name?
Yeah,
Sally.
but isn't Smith also date back to like?
It's American now, like within the last 200 of years.
It more so.
It's
You're
It's
more
one of the
so.
most common.
You're more so asking, are there any new like surnames?
Like they all come from a different
Yeah, I know what you mean.
culture and
I know what you
like
mean.
country.
But
to a degree.
the like
They do.
Well, right, but like think about this. There are also so many countries that used to live here. There's Spain, France, England,
They
fucking
still live here.
yes. Spain took over most like the
Yeah.
South Americas,
But what I'm saying
and
is,
then France had the Louisiana Purchase and
yes,
shit.
a lot of those names came from those places.
Well, what I'm saying is that American? What is
those
American?
names are American.
Exactly.
It's been hundreds of years.
You can't say exactly when I'm asking you a
No,
question.
that's what I'm saying though.
What are you saying?
What is American?
No, that's what I just
That was
asked
my
you.
original question.
No, it wasn't. Your original question was, is there any American names? And I said that depends on what is American to you, because all of these different countries have lived here. And it's all a melting pot of
I see
different
what you're saying.
places. So what is American? Is Kentucky and Seattle both the same type of American? Now, maybe, but 245 years ago, probably not.
So in my original question, I was also asking like the.
I answered it.
premise
I said
was,
probably not, because it's all either like basically what you're asking is, are there any new surnames?
Like, no.
Because that would have to be that is
Well,
like
no,
once
that's not what
America
that
is a country, 250 some years ago,
Yeah.
that's whenever American names
Well,
would
that's
be
not
able
what
to
I
be
was asking.
created,
That's
right?
Not that. It was the other. What I was implying was like what is American at that point? Because it's like you're saying that's not American names. What is technically an American last name since we are a melting?
Again,
That was
anything that's been created as a surname
Here.
since America was born
I
would be an American
I would
surname.
put it a little bit more specifically.
Right?
I would say American names are names that have been here for over 100 years.
Okay.
You could cut it off there, and then that name becomes American. Because you have to think about it, like a name doesn't necessarily carry on. So the names that already have precedence, well, it's kind of like an exponential thing. Because like if you have a girl, then there's like she marries to someone else, she changes her name. You lose if you only have girls, you might actually just lose your name. So all of the base population is like the people who come in, their names are either gonna like multiply or bleed out, but they're competing against all the names that already exist.
The
So
issue with
there's a
that
lot of names
though,
that probably bleed
All right,
out.
what about
The is-
Jimenez? That's a pretty popular last name. Or like
that's what I was about to say.
Vasquez. Is that American?
Why would it be?
Depends on how
Because
long
if
it's been
is
there.
that
Probably
has that been in 100 years in Colombia, Mexico, Panama, all these other countries as well?
Definitely.
Can it be American and also Panamanian?
Yeah, definitely. I think some
Okay, well
names have
then
common
yes,
origins.
then all the names are. Smith is also American because it's probably been here for long enough to be American, but it's also is not just been, but also is other places as well.
Yeah, I would just say the cutoff is like first generation, second, third generation.
Well, I'm going back to what you were saying, like Oppenheimer.
Well,
Einstein. I guess we don't hear them now.
So
but, like,
clearly German names.
clearly, but there are German names that have been here for a long
Yeah.
time as
Yeah.
well.
Correct, but there's
So
this
they're American.
Well,
at the time.
also the information is that those are all like all those people we know are like first generation. Like they came here to like work on that shit and to like get away from the war and these types of things.
Also, you have to like take into account the time frame. It's like
No, for
80
sure, those-
85
oh,
years
yeah.
have passed since we're talking about these German people being taken on boats from the world, like at the end of the World War, whenever they were split between Russia and
Yeah,
U.S.
we
and
got-
all.
we
They
got
got
an
some
influx.
scientists and
Yeah,
stuff
we
like that, and then
got
it
an
became
influx.
more like acceptable for Germans to be here after the war was over, and we had the understanding, or at least told the American public, that Nazis were eliminated and da 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 da, and people had a different viewpoint on Germans, and now it's like now Germans, you probably do have American-born German citizens.
Oh yeah.
That being said, that's
It's
a very
actually-
different energy than
It's
1940.
actually crazy though. We actually like America has a pretty large German population. There's a
Now,
ton,
yeah.
There's a ton of Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
Like there's like actually whole counties and like towns that are predominantly German.
I mean, it makes
Right.
sense. There was a large migration. There was a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
them
there's-
that came
there's a
over.
lot. It's actually insane when you take a look at it. Like they're pretty popular
Well, yeah,
in a lot of areas. I mean, but that again, I guess.
but
that
that's
goes-
like the idea there is semantics, because there isn't no such thing as an American name,
Yeah.
because America isn't even truly like a place. It's just something.
An
It's
idea.
it's
But
yeah,
although
it's an
I would
idea
say-
to
I
a
would
degree.
say that a lot of like
There's
black-
Native American names.
a lot of black last names could be argued to be American because a lot of blacks, like when they were freed from slavery at that time, they like chose their name. That's why like Freeman is like obviously
That's actually like a good example of
Like
like
a
potentially
originally
an American name.
yeah, and like
That's-
But even that
Kind of
was
a crazy thought.
even that is like not across the board, because there was a lot of people that were either like given names by like once they like were like
Yeah, there were.
exited
did
the
have-
South and went to the North. They were like either were taken in by a family or by the state, and potentially were
it's
given
it's
like
not all black people, but I'm just saying.
no
there
no
were
no. That's what I was
some.
saying. It's not across the board, because there is like both sides of that spectrum,
Yeah.
where like there are those that did create like their own like names and surnames, and then those that were just like given like
Yeah.
their
Of
like,
those,
I guess
some,
identity to a
it's
certain
like
degree.
just those are arguably the only American names might be just the percentage of black people that chose their own names. It's like
That's what I was gonna say. That is kind of a crazy. That's why I was saying it's a crazy thought. Because like to be like honest, like maybe some of the only people with the original like American.
like original like names that were
Yeah.
created, generated, and started in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just like the black names. I have to look into like which I know my last name isn't. Mine is a white last name. I know that like Blaylock is not.
I've never heard that actually.
Yeah, there's not that many of us like relative to other last names, but it isn't.
Look at where that
The origin.
yeah, origin of Blaylock. What's crazy though is also is like when you think about it, like America, I don't even think we kind of have a culture, but not really
Yeah.
as a country. You know what I mean? Like we
Believed
still
has originated in England, specifically in Cumbria, as a variant of Blacklock.
Yeah, for black hair.
Anglo-Saxon origin.
I guess that checks out.
Simple, sweet black hair. You have
Right. Right.
Sounds cool though.
Kind of cool that some names were just descriptors,
Yeah.
whatever it was. But like America is still kind of deciphering what its culture is at this point, because there's so like because we had Native Americans and they had their culture. We stripped that basically from them, said fuck you, destroyed all that shit, gave them bullshit. Yeah, gave them bullshit, and then now we're trying to figure out what is American culture, like what is America about, and we cannot seem to fucking agree on it for shit.
Well, there's no reason to agree on it. It's so diverse. Like, I mean, there's reason, but there's no there's no logistic reason. Like,
Yeah.
there's nobody's being pushed to go out of their way to go try to like make shit make sense
thing is,
from one another.
Every area is so different too. Like just like the West Coast, the middle, what is it? The fucking why can't I think
The
of
Mormons, and them?
Midwest.
Midwest. Like I had Middle East on my mind, but yeah, the Midwest, the South. You know what I mean? The fucking
Well,
Northeast.
yeah. I mean,
It's all those cultures, and then each state within that also has its own like
but that's
crazy.
But that's
different-
all just like systemic stuff. Like we've built that. Like I mean, yeah, there's regions that have different like weather and soils and
But
all
also-
these like economies that are built off of their region specifically. But like to act like we couldn't connect from one another is specifically based off of like the divisive nature of this country.
That's not what I'm saying.
I know what I'm saying. I was combating what you were saying by saying that it's like that's built like that. It's built to have like these like thought processes between us to say the people in the North would not get what the people in the South have to deal with, and the people in the South don't know what the people in the North have to deal with. It's like that's because we're on this plane of saying that we're not going to like connect. We're not going to be actually united. We have our states' rights. We have our differences. We have our things that you follow whenever you come here. We have our stuff that we follow when we come there. But that's like acting like it's a different country that you don't need a passport to go to. That's realistically all a different state is. There's no united fucking shit. Like think about like the thought process of someone in fucking like Minnesota having coffee with a Canadian that's not documented, thinking about ICE in Texas. It's like, you shouldn't be here either, motherfucker, but I'm having coffee with you while kids are being stolen from their parents.
Well, I think weirdly enough, I think a Minnesotan would probably have a lot like more in common with a Canadian for some reason.
No,
For
definitely
sure.
would.
They
Definitely
do.
would, but that's my point. There's no
Yeah.
united nature from a Texan to a Minnesotan on the level of immigration because they're so cool with the idea of immigration from Canadians to them. No one fucking worries about Canada whatsoever. It's just our fucking little brother up north, right?
But downstairs.
Everyone gives a fuck about Mexico because it's been tarnished in the news. Cartels run everything. It's just like that's just fucking recency bias. As soon as you see something on TV, you think everyone's seeing that same thing on TV, and that you have to uphold that thought process so that you cannot look stupid when you're talking to other people. Realistically, you look stupid for saying that shit that you saw on TV.
Well, now back then. That was,
Well, yes, I'm talking about now.
Yeah, I think that's also kind of recent because like you gotta think at some point the only way to get any kind of information was the TV. You're like, oh shit, that's happening.
Well,
But yeah,
well, I disagree. I feel like back then people probably just trusted what they saw outside a lot more too.
Yeah.
They spent more time outside.
Yeah, but newspapers and TV. I mean,
There was the newspapers and
No.
TVs, but
But people have always known that stuff's been like kind of conflated or conflated
Yeah.
to
Dude,
like
maybe some people, but a lot of people that was like their source of getting any
It
kind of
is.
information about anything, so they would just take that at face value.
Well, it's like the fucking shit that, not to quote Andrew Tate here, but the shit that he
Whoa.
said, the shit that he said like in a pod about like what his pops told him at some point, where he's like, he sat me down and he like was watching the news. He said, why do you think like they're telling us this? Like what about what they're saying on this do you think is the reason why they're telling you? And he's like, I don't know, like I guess like to cause like fear, like I guess I'm getting afraid of this stuff. He's like, exactly. It's like, I mean, none of this shit is doing anything other than just telling you the bad shit that's going on in the world.
that's what gets the highest ratings.
Yeah. And it's not just, and that's the most important. You said hit the nail on the head right there. That's the most important thing is ratings. This is that like, this isn't a news station where we're going to tell you the news of what's going on. We have a business to run and we have bottom lines. We have paychecks to cut. We have all these things. It's like, we have taxes to pay and we're only going to fucking make our profit margins if you guys are afraid.
And that's like another thing that's like suffering from the same problem that movie theaters are having, where it's
Yep.
like the news and TV in general is declining as well. Like the relative entertainment that you can get from watching the news compared to like any other source of entertainment, like social media or video games, etc., is dwindling. So they're having to get even more extremist to like.
I would argue though that like for a long time, like news, like a place like the Daily News or whatever you want to call it, news stations in general, a lot of them have been declining for the past like 40, 50.
But that's because they haven't changed anything. They're relying on the same principle that you're talking about, where people used to just have to rely on them for their information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they haven't done anything to change, like, with the times, or even though people don't have to rely on them for their information
It's
anymore.
like even like 80s and shit. I mean, because there would be times where like we can't publish. We need like people would go out and get some interesting.
I mean, it's been parodied to a degree with Anchorman and Anchorman 2. It's like it's real. Like, I mean, sure, it's a comedy movie, but like a lot of that shit happens. A lot of fucking we have nothing to talk about. Car chase. You know what I mean? Like,
So, yeah, the car chases, they've gotten really like entertainment centered around them in like Los Angeles and stuff.
Yeah.
They got announcers. They keep that shit popping.
See, but something on the topic of movie theaters, it's something I've seen in the. I wish I remember where I saw that so I could quote it. But somebody was like, "Dude, the fucking movie theater owners need to like pivot here. Like, not saying like don't show movies, but like if the NBA finals are on, like,
Oh, true.
don't show movies tonight. Let's just pack this bitch out.
That was dope.
Every theater filled with fucking Pacers and Thunder fans watching the fucking finals together on a big movie theater. You're gonna sell drinks. You're gonna sell food. You're gonna have fucking people getting rowdy. You're gonna clean up probably just as much as you would clean up on a fucking normal movie theater night. So like, why aren't we doing shit like that?
actually so true.
Why aren't you renting out a theater to like 12 to 15 friends to go play Mario Kart or fucking Mario Party for a fucking 3-4 hours? Why aren't we doing shit like that with these venues that have the availability to do shit like that?
I
Really
think that
smart.
it is a good idea, but I do also think on the opposite end that is funny to be like, yeah, dude. Honestly, the movie industry's dying. Fuck it, fill a fucking
On a Monday night,
space.
on a fucking day where
Yeah.
nobody's going to that bitch, fucking like,
True.
you know what I mean?
Why
Like,
did we not come up with like more ideas,
Yeah.
especially now to get more
Use
people
that
in the
venue.
theater?
Just
like I get the Tuesday night is probably not a good one because most theaters do like the
$5.
half price tickets on Tuesdays. So like Mondays and Wednesdays, twice a week, you have like these game nights or fucking sports nights or whatever. You just fucking come in. Like, think about doing Monday night football on every Monday night at a fucking movie theater. Like, you and your boys fucking go get drunk at the fucking theater and watch
Big ass
the
screen.
game on the big
All
screen.
these none of these industries are really changing anything.
No,
Like,
they're it's
trying to
status
adapt.
quo shit.
Yeah, they're just like, this is what used to work, and we're kind of stuck on that. We're gonna raise the prices of everything, but the quality is definitely severely dropped.
Yeah.
You want to spend $17 on a popcorn?
Like, imagine like a store in the mall. Like, realistically, all you exist for is window shoppers. Everything that you have in this store is online. Like, the only reason you are still operating a store is to pay someone a paycheck that would run this, and then also have like window shoppers literally just walking around. Like, there's a fucking hat. Well, let me go buy a hat.
Now malls suck.
Yeah.
Malls suck definitely now. Like, turn that into like something way cooler. Put some like rides in that bitch or something, because it's like you just walking around. Oh, this shirt's $40.
Right.
This shitty design. Oh, cool.
Yeah, and with Amazon and like the convenience of like
Yeah,
of, like
dude.
mobile delivery, it's just it's although I don't go to malls, but I still go shopping. But I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah, but you know how many you have like Nordstrom racks now. You have
Yeah.
like Marshalls. You know how many others.
that's what I'm saying. That's me. I'm on there.
Yeah, it's like most people are going to those stores now.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is anyone going? You know, like the mall is like, do I really want to go to like Hot Topic? That's way easier.
Yeah, I
to
kind of
get
see
on
the
mall.
mall as like a tourist spot almost. Like if
Yeah.
I'm in a different city, I might want to hit the mall because it's just like it's a cool way to. It's usually in a cool spot. I can go check it out, hit a bunch of stores, maybe see some unique local.
It's
stores.
usually like a vibe if you're not in your city.
Yeah,
if you're in your
exactly.
city, it's like, I don't know why I'm here. But if it's in another city, you're like, okay, well, two things. One, I probably need to have some time to kill. And two, these like this mall might have different stores than like my
Yeah,
mall
exactly.
back home has. So it might have like a different variety of options.
yeah.
Go shop around, see if there's anything I like.
Yeah.
Like, but there's no pressure there. At least you're having like it's an activity, you're having fun. But like
You're
a
outside.
mall at home, you're not going to that bitch unless you do need a new pair of sneakers. Like,
I'm saying, bro, the Tanger right here, bro, that Van store.
yeah.
Hey, buy one get one half off. Sometimes they do buy a pair get a pair free.
Yeah.
Like, sheesh.
Yeah, y'all have a mall like not too far from here, and I feel like I don't know when we.
Tanger's clutch though.
I would say I would say that's my idealistic type of mall, like an outdoor like type of like outlet mall like that. That has a bit of like a community vibe as well. Like they have like their little fucking courtyard in between that bitch.
And they have so many stores.
Yeah.
So many different.
It's kind of a vibe. I fuck with it. But I haven't been there in a while, honestly.
Me either. I mean, going to the mall when I can
Yeah.
order online is tough. It's tough to try to.
I don't even be ordering online though. I just don't be shopping. I need to go shop. I need to go fucking get a wardrobe change.
Same. But then again, if I'm gonna do that, I'm going probably
Thrifting for
Yeah,
sure.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to go thrifting. Honestly, I haven't been in a while. I went shopping before this weekend before event. Found some shit.
We'll say the real thrifters out there though, shout out you guys, cause that shit sucks.
Have you guys been to like the bins?
Yeah, we used to go like damn near every week.
There was the one we went to where they would do 25 cents on Wednesdays, but you're sitting there, a couple hours. You're having to
Oh yeah, it's
one by one.
You also gotta get there like mad early.
yeah. I've been to the one in Austin where they sell you stuff by weight.
Oh, bro, I've been to that one.
Yeah, I got some good
fuck,
shit.
I forgot. It's like a pink building.
Yeah.
I think-
I got some good shit. I honestly
Dude,
got some good shit.
Um,
I
fucking
need to go back.
our friend that we used to stay with in Austin, her roommate opened that store.
What?
Yeah. Fucking yeah.
A roommate?
Yeah.
Which one?
The
Morgan?
the one that was barely ever there.
Oh yeah.
The one that was like almost never like I
was
don't even
busy.
know if I ever met her.
She was making
But I-
moves. She was
But I
making
met
moves.
like the other like the coworkers that she had there that I guess knew Savannah as well. They were kind of pieces of shit. But that being said, I do remember that store opening. It was like in 2021 or 2022
They were just like
or maybe 2020,
they had,
maybe
like, the
before that.
bougie vibes, like,
Legit one dude, I will never forget this. It's not even like on some like I'm holding on to this. It's just like burned into my brain where like one dude was I would love to remember the years just for the lore, but either way, like you know me, I like to smoke. So like if I'm in Austin, or really even anywhere. If I'm out of
I was like, I don't think you got to be in Austin.
Sorry, yeah, no, I just thought about it. I was like, no, that's a bad distinction. Okay. But like I'm gonna have a blunt rolled up. So like I rolled up a blunt and like these people come over to her apartment and I'm about to burn and go outside. Anybody want to smoke? This one dude, he's like, I don't smoke flavored Rillos.
Oh my god.
And I sat there, I was like, I thought he was kidding. I thought he was kidding because it was such a
Crazy
ridiculous
timing.
thing to say. I thought he was kidding. I was like, nah. He's like, nah, I'm not smoking that. I was like, oh, you're serious.
Bro, it's beyond funny that it's beyond funny that you just said that because literally just this weekend, bro. Literally just this weekend, freaking one of my homies was talking to me, and he was literally on some like, hey, you gotta grow up. No more smoking flavored Rillos. We gotta grow up, dude. Literally.
I was there. That did happen.
That shit's hilarious.
I was literally like, bro, what? Like, what?
Bro,
We
because
gotta
look,
grow up.
I'm not even saying, like, honestly, I don't prefer flavored Rillos. I do prefer,
funny,
like, the
though.
flavorless ones. But
it's
it's one of
also-
those things, like, I'm not going to not smoke if it's flavored or if it's a flavored
That
Rillo.
was funny.
Give me
though.
that cherry motherfucker right now. I don't
That
give a
is some
goddamn.
pretentious shit
Super
to just
pretentious.
Be like, oh no, I'm not.
I am above that.
Yeah, I'm above that.
It's one of those things, like, I'll never forget that. I was like, wow.
Like, be an adult.
Literally.
Be an adult.
Literally, like, oh, he's kind of serious. Holy shit. All right, my bad.
I only smoke joints.
I mean, I respect that too, though. Like, that's another
Even
thing.
more than that.
That's a whole other thing. I don't smoke tobacco.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. I do smoke tobacco. I don't smoke coconut flavored tobacco. I was like, all right, you're doing way too much. It's like the guy that's worried about people's health and saying like you guys are just not like concerned about your health whatsoever. And just does like a fat ass line of coke. It's just like wait,
I mean-
wait,
But
whoa.
that's like that's low-hanging fruit. That's a tale as old as time. Fucking vegan dude does coke.
Yeah.
It's gluten free. You know what I'm saying?
Animal cruelty free.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know the
Are they
production
picking
of
the beans?
cocaine.
They picking the beans.
The animals that got him out there just
Jesus Christ.
with
Daniel.
them faster.
It's got dark quick.
Hey man, it's really hard because I mean like fucking everything is like animal cruelty now.
It's like what, picking beans?
I mean, it's hard, bro. I mean, human labor is out, so animal labor's in. You know
It's
what
hard
I'm
to
saying?
stay in the light. Everything is dark.
Yeah, robot labor's next, and then before you know, we're gonna be like rights for robots.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
We're gonna get there. I'm telling you, it's not. It's funny. I have a joke at work sometimes. I'm like, Are you for or against robot love? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, I'm getting ahead of the curve. I was like, I just want it to be known that my stance is I believe that everyone free love. Everyone should love who they want to. That I'm like, I'm in the future. You're in the past.
Who or what they want to, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the future right now. I'm just saying, I free love. There's gonna be people fighting against it. Watch.
Do you,
I don't know if we'll be alive for that, but it's bound to happen.
So do you align with the people that marry their cars?
What?
I said, do you align with the people that marry
Is it
their
a smart
cars?
car?
What?
It might not be. I
Is
don't
that so
know.
they can get the title
Ah.
for the car?
But
I legally own this car. Yeah, bad joke. My bad.
or like you can get married to like a flower or like anything. You can get married to anything.
Good for whoever. I
Can
don't know
you?
what that means.
Pretty sure.
You couldn't even get married to like someone of the same sex until like recently. If you get married to a flower, that'd be crazy.
And then they went back on some of that. I think.
Some places, I'm sure.
I think we did, didn't we? You know, it's really crazy. Like to think, like if we look at like how fast things move, because Texas didn't even legalize same-sex marriage until 2015.
Oh, I guess it's not possible to legally marry an inanimate object, but some people identify as objectum sexual, experiencing attraction to inanimate objects while they may form deep bonds and even have commitment ceremonies. It's important to distinguish this from legal marriage.
Nice, good for them.
That is awesome.
Good for them. But what?
Can I legally marry an inanimate object in the United States?
Yeah, but I mean, same-sex marriage wasn't even legalized here until 2015, bro. That's
That is
10
crazy.
years ago. 10 years. That's not a long time when you think about it.
This is not a rabbit hole I expected to go down. Why can't people legally marry objects, and is there a way to work around this?
Oh my god.
What do you get out of that? though?
Yeah.
Why do you even need to make it official?
Filing your taxes joint now or still single? Like how? Like
Like how? What
Why?
have you been? You're just wasting money. Like,
that
what
is
do
the
you-
waste of the energy and time and network connection that it takes to sustain this thought.
Whatever makes you happy, though. You know. I mean, am I on board? No, but if it's a robot though, I do support you out there. You know what I'm saying?
You seen some funny stuff? Should I switch?
What?
Talking to Josh.
What?
I said you're seeing some funny stuff. Should I switch?
Oh, no, you don't need to switch. It's just like commenters on Reddit that said because objects don't have tax IDs, you can marry anything that a pastor will let you bring up to the altar. Just don't try to put it down as a dependent in April, or the IRS will bring an unwelcome wedding gift.
Crazy.
True.
That is.
This has been a cool episode. It's kind of like pop culture.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, we could wrap it there. It's like 1:30.
It has been. Hell yeah. Just remember that cut at 15.
We'll do. All right. Thank you guys for joining us again for another week of Finding Danny. Any closing remarks from my co-hosts here? Oh yeah, go check us. Oh fuck, we should have did this earlier. Go check us out. Street Couch Entertainment. They're gonna be dropping an episode. Keep an eye out. We'll be on that. We were on that podcast. It's gonna
We
be sick.
were
Yeah,
on that
there.
podcast.
Abby will be joining us probably for the future. Any future
Ventures.
ventures.
Yeah, I'll be around.
Hell yeah. It was kind of sick. That experience was strange. I hadn't been to like a band barracks like type of place before. So that
was that?
It was-
wasn't that.
it
but
wasn't
was
at
a
the-
similar version
yeah.
of that, but like North Side Houston.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
like
That
Katy
was
area,
like
but
a podcast room?
it was kind of like
It
a
was-
band like practice studio room, but then
What's
we
his
just like
band?
recorded in there.
Oh, he
Yeah,
has a band?
yeah.
Oh,
Centillion.
Yeah,
Centillion. Yeah.
It's not like I don't know. They might have it, but yeah, because Band Barracks actually does have like a recording room that you can do podcasts.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
But you have to rent.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but he has his own studio.
Oh, like he's paying lease on or something?
Probably.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They
He's
probably
with the band-
split
he's
it
with
for
the
the band. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we recorded it.
Yeah. It was pretty
Might as
sick.
well utilize.
Oh,
For sure, dude.
For sure.
But yeah, you guys take it easy this week. Try to not get so wrapped up in all this politics stuff. I know that it's as difficult as it possibly can be in today's society, but you know, there's a lot of power in your community and trying to do well for one another, and finding out what you can do for your fellow man and finding out what you can do for your community is probably the most important thing to do right now. In these times where it feels like sometimes it can feel powerless, or sometimes you feel like you don't have too much control over your environment. There's always that one person out there that needs your help. So just find them, see what you can do for them, and move from there.
Yeah. Hey, dope. Hey, yeah, fuck with us. We're making moves out here in Houston, throwing shows, doing things, spreading vibes, doing podcasts. Hey, just stay with us. That's all I gotta say.
I'll take care of you guys.